Hello everyone, welcome to the RM Sotheby's live stream for our Woodcote Park sale. This is our new sale, our new summer sale. Last two previous years we've been at Clifton House. We're no longer at Clifton House, we're here in the beautiful grounds of the Woodcote Park Country Club. Now, Woodcote Park is owned by the Royal Automobile Club. We have a fantastic partnership with the Royal Automobile Club, the highlight of which, of course, is our title sponsorship of the London to Brighton Veteran Car Run, which happens in November, at the beginning of November, and that coincides with our kind of flagship UK sale, which is at the Peninsula in London, which happens at the same time as the London to Brighton. Now, what happened was last year, the Royal Automobile Club, decided that they were going to have their own concours. And it totally makes sense because obviously the Royal Automobile Club, it's a private members club, but it's very, very rooted in the automotive world, as the name would suggest. So they've got a very big membership of car enthusiasts, collectors, and this event had its debut last year. We didn't have an auction here last year. We did have a presence here, and it was a fantastic success. And we loved it so much that it just felt like the natural place for us to have an auction, our summer auction. So here we are. It's happening today. It's a single day sale. So there was no preview yesterday because this event was being set up yesterday. There were very few cars here. So we didn't have a preview. So we got a preview this morning, and the auction starting at 4 p.m. UK time. Now, Woodcote Park is it's a beautiful place. You can dine, you can come for coffee, you can sit outside, enjoy the sun, but it's also got a big sporting element to it. You know, tennis courts, swimming pool, squash courts, you name it. But it has a beautiful 18-hole golf course, which is ahead of me. Now, as I say, we've got the building behind us. We've got this lovely fountain. The cars behind me, these are not auction cars. These are cars that are on display as part of the concours. There's another lawn in that direction, up some steps. There's a marquee, and that's where our auction is taking place. And we've got a few more cars on display down on the golf course down here as well. So it's first off, we're having an unseasonably warm summer here in the UK. This is our third heat wave. I think it's going to get to 30 odd degrees today, which by our standards is, you know, pretty warm. But let's take a wander down here, Harry. So if I see the odd person who works for the club, I might grab them for a few words. But McLaren F1 car, straight 8 Delage down there, another very fine Grand Prix car of the pre-war era. And as you can see, so there's no possible way that I can sort of walk you through this entire display, but it covers quite a big area. We're just going to wait. Oh, we're going to cross now. Somebody nearly ran us over on a quad bike. So we've got really early cars. We've got veterans with which the club, for obvious reasons, is very associated. Got some fabulous. Now, I'm going to be honest, because I'm not uber familiar with all of the concours categories. This is Targa Florio. So we've got this very fine display of Targa Florio veterans, shall we say. Porsche, we've got an Abarth, we've got an Austin Healey, we've got a Frazen-Ash, Le Mans Rep, a Nazaro. Also, we've got food stands over here. Obviously, there's quite a lot of refreshment on offer, and we've got champagne sponsors and all sorts. Now, let's just take a... Oh, no, hang on a minute. Let's have a look at this. So, Mercedes. Now, what display we've got here? We've got the C11 Group C car. It's a 1990 car. Hugely successful in Group C racing back in the day, run by the Sauber team, of course, Peter Sauber, and a W125 Mercedes, probably the most successful pre-war Grand Prix car ever created. 8-cylinder engine, supercharged, driven by von Braukitsch and all sorts of other very, very famous pre-war Grand Prix drivers. A car that was capable of getting on for 200 miles an hour in the 1930s on tyres that wide. So it really is quite something to see. Mercedes have pulled out all the stops. Now, if we wander down here, this is an area where we have got some of our auction cars on display. This is not the auction location. As I said earlier, that's at a marquee on the other side of the site. Now, auction cars behind me. I think we ought to point this out, Harry. So this is a black F50. So this is going to be offered for sale via our sealed platform later this month, actually. Obviously, an F50 is absolutely peak of the hypercar market at the moment. In black, even rarer. Most of them are red, as you know. So that car, we had that car at Silverstone for an event with Supercar Driver recently, and it attracted such a lot of attention. So very special indeed. So here are some of the auction cars. Pre-war Fraser Nash TT Rep, a car that I have an affinity
Jerry.
with.
You're happy now?
Through my late father. Well, not that particular one, but I love chain drive Nashes. We have this IMSA Porsche 924 race car. Beautiful thing. Various pre-war cars. We've got a couple of Bentleys. We've got this Alpha 6C 2.5 early post-war car, absolutely beautiful, kind of, you know, and of course the classic Alfa Romeo 6E engine that became very famous in the pre-war period, and which they carried over post-war and wrapped in this beautiful bodywork. Definitely something for Saint-Tropez or the Italian lakes. This is a really interesting car. It's a Sunbeam Tiger. But we actually sold this a couple of years ago at our Clifton House sale. And at the point when we sold it there, it was a one-owner car and had only done about 18,000 miles from new. Absolutely original. Original paint, original chrome, original carpets. Just like, you can't find another one like that. And that's coming back onto the market. BRM P25 Grand Prix car. That particular car has won at the Goodwood Revival. I believe it was the Revival. It could have been the members' meeting, but great looking Grand Prix car of its era and very, very competitive. So we've got a supercar display up here. I haven't walked down it, I'm going to confess. I can see an XJ220. I can see a Honda NSX. I can see various Ferraris, from a Boxer through to more contemporary stuff. I can see a Porsche 918 up there. All sorts of good stuff. Very much where the market's at the moment. A few cars I've never heard of as well. 1955 Beat Roger. I don't know what that is. We're walking past the Piper Heidsieck Champagne Hospitality, which I think is going to get pretty popular as the day goes on. So, speaking in a slightly hushed tone, because they're officially opening the event now. That's Amanda Stretton, who's a very well-known commentator and compere for events like this, and our very own Will Smith, car specialist in the light-coloured suit and the very swanky hat. So let's just see what they've got to say.
Can you believe that this is only year 2? Now, my name is Amanda Stretton, and I'm actually also part of the club's motoring committee, who, along with the motoring team, put the club front and central in Britain's never-ending enchantment with the motor car. So I'm going to be your host today, along with Will Smith from RM Sotheby's. Morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's a delightful day. Just a quick note, please, everyone, stay hydrated today. There's lots of water around. We don't want anyone passing out, madam. So please stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a glorious, glorious day.
It certainly is. So RM are, of course, going to be they're partnering us today, and they have the auction taking place later on this afternoon.
So here we are with one of the most important men on site today. It's Duncan Wiltshire, the chairman of the Royal Automobile Club. Now, Duncan, you... let's hand the mic over. Sorry, very amateur at this, as you can imagine. This is the second year. First year last year, that was a resounding success. Are you thinking that this is now an annual event forever?
That's a loaded question. This is the really sort of important follow-on album, isn't it? That tricky second album.
Yeah.
Last year was such a resounding success. There's no other way to describe it. The team put in a huge effort, and we weren't surprised by the outcome in one sense, but in the other sense, we were all blown away with just how good the event was last year. So I had to wander around a little earlier before the crowds really built up, just to have a sneaky look. To get a feel of the whole place. And I have to say, it's really clear, even after last year's success, just how much higher the event has come this year. There's a really clever set of categories. I think they've been very, very creative in the way the team have designed the categories around here. And something like 80% of the cars here belong to club members, which is a really remarkable thing in its own right. But this is the excuse for them to bring them out and to showcase them all. Your question about the future, I mean, why would you not want to do it again?
Because the big challenge here is keeping the golfers off the golf course, isn't it? For a couple of days.
Well, yeah, but this isn't just a political answer. The golfers have been fabulously supportive. They 100% recognise why the concourse matters to the Royal Automobile Club for the good of all of us. And the golfers, in fact, when the golfers were rather trepidatiously approached last year with the idea that we should take over the golf course for the concourse, and everyone was a little nervous of the reaction, the golfers sat there and said, "But we've been waiting for you to ask us."
There you go.
Wonderful. I mean, it's meant to be. So, yeah, it's a fabulous thing. And to have RM Sotheby's here holding their first auction at Woodcote Park, it's exactly what this event needs. It's very, very exciting.
I mean, we're delighted to be here. I said to Camera earlier that we've done the last two summer sales in the UK at Clifton House, which is a lovely place. But then we came here. This event happened the day after our auction at Clifton House. We had a bit of a presence here. We all came along. And as soon as we got here, we thought, why aren't we doing an auction here? This is absolutely the place to be doing it.
Well, I'm honest, that's exactly what we thought too. I mean, Clifton's a lovely, lovely place, but it doesn't hold a candle to Woodcote Park. Come on.
Let's hope Ian Livingstone isn't listening to this. But yes, no, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Thank you, Duncan. So I'm just going to hand that to you. Will, as I introduced Duncan as one of the most important people here, I'm now going to introduce you as less important than Duncan, but nevertheless important because you're co-master of ceremonies.
That's true. I'm co-hosting the event today with Amanda Stretton, and it's a great joy and privilege to be doing so. I'm lucky enough to we're lucky enough to go to a lot of CONCOURS events, and this is absolutely stand out. The selection of cars here today is as good as I've ever seen, and there's everywhere you look, there's fascinating, interesting cars, and I encourage everyone to have a wonderful day and have a good look around, because it's a truly special event.
And you're going to be splitting your time between doing what you're required to do for the concours and selling some cars. We've got some cars to sell, right?
It's a double header. So yes, at 4 p.m. we have the auction, and everyone should hopefully be making their way over there as part of one of the main attractions of the event. And we're delighted to be doing an auction today, because I think, as Duncan just said, it's appropriate for the setting and it's appropriate for the event.
And we've got a great selection of cars.
We do have a great selection of cars, and there's something for everyone.
There is something for everyone, indeed. Fiat 500 to a Ferrari F40 and quite a lot in between. So something for everyone. Thank you, Will.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Catch you a bit later. Cheers. Thanks. We have a very big patch of grass here that we're not allowed to walk on because the turf was only laid about 5 days ago, which is why it's so lush and green. This is the other side of the clubhouse, and you can see that another of our auction cars there, which is the supercharged K3 Magnet MG with incredible period racing history. That is the real deal. And now we're starting to walk past more of the auction cars. Series 1 E-Type Coupe. I mean, what we've got and what we typically have for our UK sales is a really strong British theme in terms of the cars. So Jaguars, Astons, Rolls, Bentleys, that sort of stuff. Got some fabulous DB Astons. DB6 Vantage Volante there. Bentley Continental Fastback. Arguably one of the best looking luxury Grand Tourers of its era. And here we go. Right, oh, a bit of shade, that's nice. And this is mission control. So we've obviously crammed in quite a lot of the cars here. We've got some amazing stuff, got some amazing Porsches, got some amazing RS Porsches. Probably what I ought to show you, parked in the shade over here. You've very likely seen this publicised in the last few weeks. Porsche RSR 964, one of only 2 RSRs that were specially commissioned by Porsche Motorsport as road legal cars. But of course, you might be thinking, why didn't we get the car valeters to clean it? It does look a little bit grubby. Well, that's because it's covered in protective film that went on to protect the paintwork the week the car was delivered. And it's never been taken off. The car is sitting on its original tyres. It literally has not turned a wheel. I think it's done 10 kilometres, which would have been put on it by Porsche before the car was delivered. Just shakedown kilometres. So, unrepeatable, really. Ex-Villeneuve Williams Formula One car. So if you want to turn up on a track day and embarrass anything else that's there, that's probably the car to buy. Various Ferraris, 550 Barchetta, of course. M3 Sport Evolution, very rare car. I think they made 60. I'm bound to have got that wrong because I probably have something of a hole in my BMW M data bank in my head, but I think they made 60 of those, so a very rare beast. Competition 360, Ford GT. Over there in the corner, we've got a DB5 shooting brake. Yes, it is a DB5 estate, something to get your luggage and your Labrador in and head off on holiday. Rare, fabulous thing. Beautiful Ferrari Boxer in a very rare colour. Gullwing, of course. This car's had a bit of publicity because this car is owned by TV chef James Martin. It's an Alpha ATL special coach-built car. This one made in the mid-70s using Alfa Romeo drivetrain, but just a beautiful car to look at. And it's sort of £300,000. But it's one of those cars that if you turned up at a swanky car event in it, people would probably think you'd spent more like £1 million on it. It's sort of it looks $1 million, but will cost you significantly less than that. So you want to see a pre-war supercar? This Bentley, supercharged 8-litre Bentley in a 4-litre chassis, so you've got a comparatively lightweight chassis, lightweight bodywork, but with a shocking great supercharged 8-litre engine. Mind-blowing performance for a car of its age, and yeah, that would surprise a few people. If you've never been in a pre-war car, if somebody took you for a ride in that, I think you'd be amazed. And finally, kind of the star, in value terms, really the star of the auction. Yes, it's a Ferrari F40. Yes, I know we very often have F40s in our auctions, but this one is a little bit different. This was bought new by Jean Sage. Now, Jean Sage was a competitor, motorsport competitor, but he later went on to work for Ferrari running their F40 IMSA program in the US. Of course, that gave him very strong links with Michelotto, and what he did was he went to Michelotto with his F40, which was a standard non-cat, non-adjust car, and he said, take some weight out, I want a couple of different turbochargers on it. They swapped out the wheels, so it's got more power, it's got subtle upgrades that are not really very visual, so it keeps the real kind of aesthetic integrity of an F40, but it's sort of peak road-going F40. Lots and lots of performance. And really historic as well. Just to finish off, I'll take you into the auction room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is where the action is going to happen. Now, by our standards, this is quite a small marquee. We were limited on how big the marquee could be, so there isn't as much standing room in here as we would ordinarily have. So we've got it all laid out. There are no actual cars on display in here, and we're limiting the people that can be in here when the auction is going on is going to be limited just to registered bidders. Auctioneer up there, obviously, so Sholto Gilbertson, our auctioneer, will be up there with Will Smith, who will be the reader. And just behind me over here, we've got the phone desk. And just to give you a little bit of a background, so I'm going to be joining you to give a little bit of a live commentary while the auction's going on. And just over there is where I will be sitting. So I can take myself on and off air using a little push button. And I've got a screen so I can see what's going on. So that's where the live stream happens. And I think that's about it. I think I've basically shown you as much as I can in what time I've got. So thank you for joining us. The auction is going to start shortly. I'll be positioned on there with my trusty microphone, and the auction will get underway. So please stay with us, watch the auction. Of course, if you're interested in bidding, you can register to bid, you can bid online, you can bid on the phone if you can't be here in Epsom. But thanks for joining us, and stay with us until the auction ends.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RM Sotheby's summer sale here at Woodcote Park in partnership with the wonderful Royal Automobile Club CONCOURS event, which you've all been enjoying today. Before we commence, I'd like to draw your attention to some of our partners and upcoming sales. We are delighted to announce that Cars UK and its Global Cars affiliates is RM Sotheby's exclusive recommended international shipping partner. Cars is recognised as the leading specialist in car collection, transport and storage, providing an unsurpassed level of service. For more information of their services, please speak to their team on the desk just over there to my right. RM Sotheby's has announced a new global partnership with Lockton, the world's largest privately held insurance brokerage firm, with underwriting provided by Chubb, a world leader in insurance. This collaboration is focused on supporting collectors of exceptional motor cars and high-value collectibles through highly customized insurance and risk advisory solutions. Lockton brings deep specialist expertise in protecting significant and complex collections, delivering bespoke coverage structures and a level of personalised service that reflects the unique needs of its discerning clients worldwide. Supported by Chubb's global underwriting strength and experience, it offers solutions and complex insurance needs for their most valued possessions. Lockton provides a trusted, first-class protection designed to safeguard premier collections across international markets. So, on to our upcoming auctions. We will, of course, be returning to Monterey Car Week for our flagship sale there. 2026 promises to be another year of exceptional offerings that are crossing the block, offering a selection of some of the world's finest motor cars. Please look at our website for further news and information on all the lots being offered. Following the success of the 70 million Swiss franc Taylor for Speed collection auction in 2025, RM Sotheby's will return to Zurich on the 26th of September with an exceptional offering of collectible automobiles. Held at the Park Hyatt in Zurich, the auction will present a carefully curated selection of motor cars and significant classics, modern collectibles, to today's most sought-after supercars and hypercars. Additional auction information and a complete list of consignments will be announced in the coming weeks. RM Sotheby's flagship London auction returns this October to the Peninsula London, continuing its presence in the city's most refined settings and one of the best auction venues. Now in its third year at this venue, the sale has established itself as a central fixture of the UK collector scene. London auction attracts an international audience of collectors and forms a key moment within London Motor Week, held in partnership with the Royal Automobile Club and ahead of RM Sotheby's London to Brighton Veteran Car Run. We are actively consigning, ladies and gentlemen, for that sale, so please come and speak to us if you are interested in selling a car. So, my name is Will Smith, and your auctioneer today is Sholto Gilbertson to my left. I have a few important notes which I must read before we begin the auction. All sales are as is and where is. The final bid price does not include buyer's premium and any applicable taxes. In the event of a final hand price of £200,000 and below on motorcar lots, RM Sotheby's will receive a buyer's premium of 15%.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Woodcote Park auction, an all-new auction for us here in partnership with the Royal Automobile Club and their spectacular concours at Woodcote Park in Surrey. The second year of the concours, our first auction here, so we're really delighted to offer a great selection of cars. There's everything from a Fiat 500 to a Ferrari F40 and an awful lot in between those two price points. We've got pre-war, early post-war, right the way up to modern supercars, so there's something for everyone. I'm going to be on and off your screen, occasionally just giving you a little bit of update on what's going on in the auction room and whether we're all coping with the heat, quite honestly. It's extraordinarily hot here in Surrey at the moment, and we're in a marquee. So it's a little warm, but we're feeling good about the sale, we're going to be kicking off with some memorabilia lots, and then we'll be getting straight into the cars. And I will be telling you just a little bit about some of the key lots that we're going to be offering. So please do stay with us. Follow the auction here, right here. Stay with us until the auction ends. It should be interesting. So thank you for joining us, first of all, and enjoy it. And I'll see you a little bit later.
Up to the reserve of the amount where there is one by placing responsive or consecutive bids for a lot. Please note that sale room notices and addenda read ahead of any applicable lot this evening supersede the catalogue descriptions. And please visit the auction settlement office should you have any questions at all and to collect your invoice. Otherwise, successful bidders will be emailed their invoice on Thursday, the 9th of July. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we shall commence proceedings with lot number 101. That is the Thunderball James Bond limited edition framed poster.
Well, thank you, Will, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming along and making the effort to come and support us today, and everyone online who is watching from all over the world. I hope we can all agree that the second Royal Automobile Club Woodcote Park Concours has been a great success. There's nothing much we can do about the weather, so apologies for the heat in here. We have been trying very hard, and Emily and her team have been excellent throughout the setup of 2 sales within a week, isn't it, Emily? So well done to Emily and her team. Lot 101, Thunderball James Bond limited edition frame film poster. It's no reserve. What should we say? £250 anywhere? 250, first lot of the day. Thank you, TP. 250. Any more? On my left at £250. Maiden bid at 250. 500 will be next at 250. Well, can you believe it? The first of the day at £250. Fair warning at 250. I've got the maiden bid. Are we sure, ladies and gentlemen? At £250. Are we done? Are we sure? Last chance. Tony? 6196, well done.
Lot number 102 is the De La Chapelle 55 Junior children's car, ladies and gentlemen, built by the famous French children's car manufacturer in the 1980s. Sholto.
Well, again, 1,000 anywhere? 1,000? Thank you, Pedro. 1,000. Any more now? 1,000 with the maiden bid. 1,000. 1,500 would be next. 15. 15 online against you. 1,500 online. 1,500, Pedro? 1,500, 2,000, try 2,000, 1,750, 1,750, thank you, on my left now, 1,750, any more, against the online bid, a 1,750 only for 2,000, another 250, would you like another 250, yes, Pedro, would you like another 250, 2,250, at 2,250 now, against the online, at £2,250. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 2,250. Fair warning. Online, this is your last chance. Well, it's a lot of junior car for the money. At £2,250, we're selling on my left. Fair warning. 2,250. 6195. 2,250, 6195.
Lot number 103 is the Cavallino 312 PB children's car, livery presented in the style of Jackie Ickx's entry into the 1973 Targa Florio.
Thank you. Do we have 3,000 anywhere? 3,000 anywhere for the child's car. At 3,000 anywhere. Come along now. Thank you. Sorry, 3? 3,000 with Duccio. Thank you, Duccio. 3,000. Maiden bid. It's no reserve. It has to sell at £3,000. Any more bids now at 3,000? I have the maiden bid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's great value at that. It really is. At 3,000. 4,000. 4,000. At 4,000. Thank you, Mr. Ducklow. At 4,000. At £4,000. Duccio, you're on next. At 4. I've taken the internet bid at 4. Any more now? At 4,000.
Yes.
4,500. 4,500. It's all online. It's all online. At 4,000. 5,000. 5,000. At 5,000. Any more now? At 5,000, we will sell. We will sell at £5,000. Fair warning. 5,500. At 5,005. At 5,005. Are we done? Duccio, are you in or you're out? You're out. At 5,005 to the online bidders. 6,000. 6,000. 6,000. It's all online. At 6,000 now. Are we done? At 6,000. Fair warning now online. We've got to be quicker than that. At 6,000. 6,000. Online bid.
Okay, lot number 104 is the 2003 Honda SZX 50 BAR Honda F1 paddock scooter. And this was used, ladies and gentlemen, by Jenson Button as his personal paddock scooter during the 2003 and 4 Formula One seasons.
Thank you, Will. Well, I can open up with an absentee bid of 2,000 straight in. At 2,000 anymore. 2,500, 3,000, 3,200, 3,400, 3,600, 3,800. There's my absentee at 3,800. You out? At 3,008 with the absentee. Any more bids for Jenson Button's paddock scooter at 3,008 with my absentee? Any more bids at 3,008 with my absentee at 3,008? Any further bids at 4,000? My book is clear now. My book is clear. 4,100. I will take them small, but they do have to be quick. At 4,100. 4,200. You're out at 4,002 with Duccio, selling all the way at 4,200. Sold at 4,200. Your paddle number 6141.
Lot number 105 is the 1964 Fiat 500. Desirable. This is the D model, ladies and gentlemen, with the extended open roof and suicide doors. It was imported from Italy in 2016, after long-term owner near Salerno kept it for almost 50 years. Lovely example, nice restoration, and now back in the UK.
Well, first of the cars, and what do we say? Do we have 6,000 anywhere? First car of the day, 6,000 anywhere. Come along now, 6,000, it's no reserve. Where's the bid? Thank you, TP, 6,000. Any more? Maiden bid at 6,000. 6,000 only, ladies and gentlemen. 8,000, thank you, David. 8,000. 9 would be next. 9,000.
Yes, 10,000 over there, sir.
10,000, thank you. Hello, Murray, how are you? 10,000. At 10,000, any more? At 11,000, going abroad. At 11,000. Save it for the nation, Anthony.
It drives beautifully, Anthony. It drives beautifully.
11,000 against you, Anthony.
It's a lovely
You
thing.
sure? Well, 11,000 here. At 11,000, are we done? Are we done at 11?
Yes.
12,000. 13,000. Try another, sir. Try one more. It's 13,000. Try 13,500. 13,500. You sure? You sure? 13,500 here. Think it worked, sir? At 13,500. Are we done? I'm selling now at 13,500. You've got it at 13,500. I haven't brought the hammer down yet, sir. At 13,500. Fair warning now. At 13,500. This time, it is your car at 13.5.
So we're underway.
6103.
Lots of selling,
Okay,
which is good
lot number
news.
106 is the 1930
Next is the Lagonda. It's a 1933 litre, great pre-war car, and pre-war cars have never been better value for money than they are now. So this is a wonderful car, really good touring car for a family. Featured in the iconic 60s TV show The Avengers, written by the actor Patrick Macnee, and it's offered without reserve. So let's see how it does.
Thank you. I've taken your bid. 30,000. It's no reserve. I have to sell at 30,000. 40. We'll come to the smaller bids in a bit, Malcolm. At 30,000, 35 would be next. 35 would be next. Well, at 30,000 only. At 30,000, now I'll take the 32. Thank you. 32,000. Sorry. 40. 34,000. 40,000. 42,000. At 42,000. Any more? I've got the bid here at 42,000. It's selling, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of car for the money at 42,000. 3 litre Lagonda at 42,000. At 42,000. Well, I'm going 44,000 with you, Nigel, at 44,000. 46,000. 46. Nigel, you know the rules. You can't just bid the once. At 46,000. Any more bids? One more. 46. We are selling this time at 46,000. Nigel, I'm going to give you last chance now. Try 48. Try 48. 48,000. 50,000. At 50. You're out this time. Well, thank you. Thank you, Nigel. At 50,000. Fair warning. At £50,000, going for the first time, going for the second time, and going for the third and final time at 50,000. Your car, sir. £50,000. 6190.
Okay, lot number 107 is the 1962 Jaguar E-Type Series 1 3.8 fixed head coupe. Factory right-hand drive, home market example, matching numbers, chassis, engine, ladies and gentlemen, verified by a JDHT certificate. Exceptional history file. 3 enormous history files with this car going back to day one. Fantastic example.
Thank you. Well, Series 1 E-Type, it really is magnificent. Under the cedar tree over at the far corner of the lawn there. Telephones coming in. Thank you. You're both connected. Well done. And what should we say? Do we have £50,000 for a Series 1 coupe? 50,000 anywhere? 50,000?
Yes.
50. Thank you. Gus. The bid's with Gus at 50,000. We'll keep it in fives at 50,000. Any more bids? 55. Yes. Thank you, Anthony. 55. Any more bids at 55,000? Series 1 E-Type, ladies and gentlemen, at 55,000. Any more bids? Any more? Telephones, what are we doing? 57.5. 57.5. 60,000. 60,000. Any more? I'm holding the bid seated at 60,000 only. At 60,000 only. Thank you. 60,000.
Yes.
62.5. New bidder, seated, 62.5. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. At 62.5, here on the aisle. At 62.5. Telephones, if you're out, please sit down. At 62.5. At 62.5. What are we doing? You're still standing. At 62.5. Communication, please, boys. At 62.5. I'm holding the bid. I'm holding the bid. At 62,500. It's here on the aisle. William, you need to give me some instruction, please. You're sitting down at 62.5. Fair warning, the car... 64 I'll take. $64 I'll take. At 62.5, you're out. At 62.5, last chance now.
Yes.
64. 64,000. Keep it in twos, sir. Sir, we'll keep it in twos. 66 would be next. Try 66. We'll keep it in twos. We're at 64. Would you like 66? Series 1. Yes, 66. This time you are out. Thank you for your bids. At 66,000, we are selling, make no mistake, 66th
bid.
68,000. 68,000. New bidder. 68,000. Any more? Try 70, sir. It's a lot of car for the money. Yes, 70,000. 70,000. A 70,000. Rob's out. Are you out, Rob? I'm at 70,000 here. Last chance now at £70,000 for a Series 1 E-Type. Can you believe it? At 70,000. Your car, 70,000. Your number?
I think that was very well bought, that E-Type. That's a really good buy for somebody because that car presents beautifully. Next up, the first of our young timers, shall we call it, 1990 BMW M3 Sport Evolution. One of only 600, the ultimate E30 M3 probably. And these cars are commanding a lot of money these days. So this has an estimate of £250,000 to £300,000. So let's see how this one does.
Certificate by BMW Classic, one of the most collectible homologation specials of all time, Sholto, one of my favourites. Lot number 108.
Thank you. And, well, what should we say for the BMW M3? Lots of interest. Telephones connecting as we speak. And I can open up at £150,000. 150 anywhere. 150 anywhere. 150, thank you. I've taken 150 now. At 150, any more? 180. There's two of you on it here at 180,000. At 180. Any more? 180, I'm bid. At 180, 200. Just ahead of you, sir. At 200 now. At 200. At 200. 220. At 220. At 220 now. At 220,000. 240 just ahead of you. 250. 250 now. Against you here. 250 on my left. At 250,000. The car is on sale. It's against you, sir. You're saying no. At 250 here. At 250,000. The car is on sale at 250. Keep it in tens if it helps you, but we're at 250,000. We're selling all the way. Sir. 275, 275. Thank you, Mark Donaldson. 275. At 275. It's all on the phones. At 200.
280.
280 online. At 280,000 online bid. At 280,000. 285. Thank you, Mark. At 285. At 285 against the online. At 285. 290. 290. At 290,000. 295, £295,000. 300,000, ladies and gentlemen. 300,000 for the M3 Sport Evolution. 310,000. At 310,000. Are we done? 320,000. 320. 325. 330. 330. 330,000 now. 330,000 we have. 330 with the online bid. Thank you for the communication, Mark. At 330,000. I've got it. At 330,000. At 330,000. At 330,000. 340. 340,000. Telephones back in. At 340,000. At 340. Well, at 340 online, what are we doing?
350.
350,000. 350,000 here at Woodcote Park at 350. Fair warning now. Fair warning. At 350,000. I've got you. Thank you. At 350,000. At 355,000. I don't mind small bids if we're going in the right direction at 355,000. Against the online bidder now. would you like to come back in online? At 355,000. I will begin to call the car. At 355,000. Going for the first time at 355,000. Going for the second time at 355,000. Going for the third and final time at 355. Last chance online. Sold 355,000.
So £355,000 plus buyer's premium for the
lot number
M3 Sport
109
Evolution.
is the
That is
2002
strong money,
Ferrari
and I think there's probably a few people watching this
Pininfarina, ladies
who
and
wish they'd bought one of
gentlemen.
those a few years ago.
Number 438
But
built.
that's the way the
Much
market
fewer
has
numbers
moved.
in right-hand drive.
We've got the 550 Barchetta coming up next, one of only 448 examples. This is the weather for one of these cars, and I'll be back shortly.
Manuals and folio signed by Jody Scheckter, no less, with its toolkit. It's without reserve, Sholto. It's lot number 109.
Well, thank you, and thank you to the vendor, the owner who is here. Thank you, David. And what should we say? 200,000 anyway? 200,000.
Yes.
Thank you. 200. 200,000 I'm bid. Maiden bid at 200,000. Any more bids?
Yes.
220,000. 250,000. 250. It's no reserve. I'm selling the car. 275? It's 250,000. 275 I've taken. So with the rucksack at 275. Any more bids at 275,000. 300,000. Harvey's in at 300,000 now. At 300,000. Any more bids? 320 would be next. 320. Thank you, sir. At 320,000. Against you, Harvey. 320 standing in the room. At 320. At 320. At 320,000. You're owning it for a moment, sir. At 320,000. Standing here. Thank you for making the effort to come along, sir. At 320,000. Any more bids? At 320,000. Fair warning.
Sir.
340,000. New bidder. New bidder. 340 now. At 340,000. At 340. I'm holding your bid, sir. At 340. Take 350? Yes, 350 just ahead of you, Harvey. I've taken a bid just before you. 350 in the room. 350 in the room. Any more bids? At 350. You've been with me all the way, sir. At 350,000. At 350. Telephones are all beginning to be seated. You want 355, don't you? 355. Madam, where have you come from? 360 now. At 360, ladies bid. Thank you, Howard. At 360,000. At 360,000. Harvey's seated. Madam is with you. Would you like 365, sir? You've been with me all the way. 365. 365. 365. Would you like another bid, madam? At 365. 370,000. 370,000. 370,000 pounds. Keep it in fives for you, sir. Yes, 375. 375. Are you sure now? I will call it at 380,000. 380,000. 385. At 385. 385,000. Try one more, sir. Try one more. You sure? Well, thank you. Howard, thank your friend here. Thank you so much. At 385, you're absolutely sure. You will miss it. One more for the road. You sure? At 385 here. We're going to sell at 385,000. The car, sir, is yours. 385. Sir, your paddle number. Your paddle number. Howard, could you ask him for his paddle number? Your 6329. 6329. £385,000. We are open for the Peninsula in London, so if you are a 550 Barchetta owner, come and speak to the team. we can help you again at the next sale. Thank you.
Okay, lot number 110 is the 1956 Maserati A6G 54 2-litre GT Coupe, ladies and gentlemen, from the final year of production of the A6 line. One of just 21 examples bodied by Alemano from a total of just 60 built of the model. Delivered new to the United States and later ownership in Australia and the United Kingdom. Matching numbers engine. Absolutely stunning 50s motoring, Sholto.
Well, and of course, Mille Miglia eligible as well. And what should we say for the Maserati? Do we have 150,000 for the car? 150,000 anywhere? 150. It's a lot of car for 150 only. 150. Any more bids? 150. Thank you. I've taken 150. Any more bids now? 150 here. 180. Thank you. Howard, it's your friend again. 180,000. Any more bids? 200,000. 200,000. 200 against you, sir. 200 against you. Would you like 220? You sure? It's a lot of cars, sir. Try 220. We're at 200. 205. 205. 205,000. Any more bids? 205. 210. I've got 210. 215. Was that 215? Yes? 215. At 215,000. I'm holding your bid at 215,000. What are we doing? At 215,000, I'm holding your bid at 215,000 for the Maserati. Mille Miglia eligible, ladies and gentlemen, at 215. 215, the car is on sale. The car is on sale, ladies and gentlemen, at 215,000. Make no mistake, this Maserati is selling for 215,000. 220 online. 220 online. The car is on sale. It's 220 online. 220 online. Try 225. 225 at 225,000. We're selling the car at 225,000 against the online bidder. Against the online bidder.
230.
230. 230. Are you sure? It's a great value, Howard. At 230, the car is selling all the way at 230,000 to the online bidder. Fair warning, ladies and gentlemen, for this magnificent Maserati. 235. It's both online now. 235,000 at 235,000. Both online. The car is on sale. Make no mistake. At 235, it's both online. Come along now, online bidders. At 235,000, going. Are we done?
240.
240. 240 now. At 240, all online. At 240, 245. Well done, Richard. At 245. At 250. They're all waking up now, aren't they? At 250,000.
255.
255. At 255. 250. 260. 260. Selling the car at £260,000. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 260,000 now. Fair warning on 265. 265,000. 270 with new bidder at 270,000. At new bidder, 270,000 now. 275. At 275,000. At 275, Nick, what are we doing? 275? 280. 280,000. At 280,000. Well, with Nick's bid, 285. At 285. Nick, thank you. Thank your bidder at 285. This time we're going to sell. Richard, thank the client at 285. We're selling now at 285,000. The car is sold. 285 online.
So next up, we got the 1974 Ferrari Boxer 365 BB. For my money, Boxers are one of the most undervalued Ferraris in the market at the moment. Only 58 of these in right-hand drive. It's the early iteration of the Boxer, so carburettor fed and easily identifiable from the 512 by the 6 tailpipes at the back. Great looking car, rare in right-hand drive and even rarer in Azzurro metallic blue. A great colour for these cars. And it's offered without reserve, so it's going to find a lucky new owner.
Thank you, JB. 140, 160 and seated, 160 seated. Any more bids? Any more bids? Good to have you back at 160,000. Any more bids?
Yes.
Seated. 180. 180.
Yes.
200. 200,000. At 200. Ladies bid at 200,000 now. 210. Has to go in the right direction at 210. It's no reserve at 210. Any more bids at 210,000.
Yes.
220,000. 220. 220. Here at 220. 220. 220. 230. Thank you. At 230 now. At 230,000. At 230,000. The car is obviously on sale at £230,000 with Harvey. At 230,000. Well, at 230,000, fair warning. Nick, you can have 235 if it helps you. But we're at 230. Sorry, with Nick at 230. Harvey, would you like 235? Getting a bit confused up here. My old age. At 230 with Nick at 230. Harvey seated at 230. We're selling the car. I will take 235 if it helps you anywhere. But at 230,000 with Nick, selling the car, sold 230, 6108.
Next up is an interesting lot. It's a Sunbeam Tiger, so the Ford V8 variant of the Sunbeam Alpine. Now, we sold this car a couple of years ago, and at that point, it was an amazing car because it had one owner from new. It was owned by a guy called Jeff Parker. It was his 21st birthday present from his parents, and it had done 18,000 miles from new. One owner. Totally unrepeatable. Original paint, original interior, original chrome, and it looks like it's just driven out of the showroom. You will not find another Sunbeam Tiger like this, and I think it represents really good value for money.
Known collector. Telephones coming in as you'd expect. Do we have 25,000 anywhere? 25,000 for the Sunbeam Tiger. 25,000, come along at 25,000. 25,000.
Yes.
20,000. It's one wonderful Sunbeam Tiger here at 20,000. Any more bids? At 20,000 only. At 20,000 only. It's no reserve. I'm holding the bid. At 20,000. Come along. 25. Thank you, Franz. 25. Try 30. Try 30, sir. At 25,000. I'm holding the bid down here. Try 27.5. Try,
yes,
27.5. Thank you, MJB. 27.5. Franz, you sure? 30,000. Are you sure? At 30,000. It has to sell. It has to sell at £30,000. Any more bids at 30,000? 32 would be next. 32. Thank you, Howard. 32. 32. 35 would be next, William. We're at 32. We're at 32. Come along now at 32,000. A lot of car. Incredible condition. Time warp condition. At 32. William? At 32,000. I'm holding your bid, Howard. You sure? Well, at 32,000, I will call the car. 34,000. Howard, 36 would be next. You sure? at 34,000. The bids with William at 34,000 for the Sunbeam, at 34,000. Fair warning at £34,000 and 36, 36, 36,000. 37,000, 37, 38, 38,000, 39,000. Thank you, Rob, thank you, Harvey. 39,000, selling again now at 39,000 for the Sunbeam Tiger at 39. The car is sold. 39,6113.
Lot number 113 is the 1992 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. Limited production example, ladies and gentlemen. Stunning maritime blue exterior with colour-matched interior elements. It was actually originally prepared and owned by Porsche for show and display purposes at the 1991 Frankfurt and Lisbon motor shows. Subsequently owned by Prince Carl Friedrich and early production example, the 11th Carrera RS invoiced in its production, matching numbers, flat six engine. It's a lovely maritime blue Carrera RS, Sholto.
Thank you, Will. Well, what do we have? I have interest, all with me at 80, 100, 120, all with me at 120,000. Any more bids? At 120,000, 130,000, 140,000, still with the absentee bid at 140,000. Any more bids? 140,000. At 140. Any more now? At 140. At 140. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks good value at that. At 140,000 only. I'm holding my absentee at 140. Any more bids? Any more bids? 140, 150. Thank you. At 150. At 150,000. At 150. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 150,000. At 150 now. Ladies and gentlemen, at 150,000. Fair warning, any more bids? At 150,000. Not quite enough, thank you.
Okay, lot number 114.
So next up, we've got an Aston Martin DB5. Now, this is at 2 owners from new. It presents in wonderful condition, but of course, crucially, the number plate is DB5. So it's the ultimate DB5 registration number on a really, really fine example. The estimate on this car obviously factors in the fact that it's got a really exceptional plate on it, so it's an interesting proposition for somebody. Let's see how this one does.
And what shall we say? Do we have 500,000 anywhere for the DB5? With the DB5 registration number, 500,000 anywhere. Thank you. Straight in at 500,000. Any more bids at 500,000? I've taken your bid here at 500,000. 500,000. 550 now. Coming here at 550. At 550, any more bids? At 550,000 for the DB5. At 550,000, any more? 550,000. The bids here at 550. 600. You're back, sir. At 600. Thank you. At 600,000 now. Against the internet, the bids on my left at 600,000. Any more bids? At 600,000. At 600,000 here. 600,000 at 600,000. Are we done? 620 with you, Cyrus. Thank you. At 620. At 620,000. There's two of you on it. At 620,000 for the DB5. At 620,000. Any more bids? I'm holding the bid here at 620. 650. At 650,000. Are we done? At 650. 675? 675? 675 at 675,000. At 675,000.
Yes, 700.
700. 700 at 700. Any more? Cyrus, would you like another? You sure? Thank you anyway. Thank you, Cyrus, at 700. The car is on sale. The car is on sale at £700,000 with the number plate DB5. At 700,000, going for the first time. I will take 20 if it helps, but at 700,000, going for the second time. And at 700,000, going for the third and final time to our great friend Neil. At 700,000, the car is sold. 700,000. 6200. Thank you, Neil, as always.
Okay, lot number 115 is the 1975 Lancia Stratos HF Stradale, one of just 492 examples built, very authentic and completed in January 75 ahead of being delivered new in Italy. It retains, recently maintained by the Light Car Company, and it has ASA papers and factory production record. A lovely homologation car, ladies and gentlemen, one of the legends of the rally scene, the Stratos.
Well, it really is. It's such an original example. Very hard to find them in this kind of condition, it really is. And do we have telephones coming in? Do we have 300,000 anywhere? 300,000 anywhere. Thank you. 300. I'm bid at 300 now. 300. Any more? 320 at 320. Any more bids at 320? Try another, sir. 350 at 350. Two here in the room at 350 now. At 350. 380 now. At 380. 400. Quick bids, that's what we like. Thank you, sir. 400, try another. At 400, try another. 400, try another now. 420, back in, 420. At 420 now. At 420,000, here in the room, at 420. Are we done at 420? 450. At 450. At 450, holding the bid on my right at 450,000. At 450,000. At 470. 475. 475. Thank you. At 475. Any more bids at 475,000? I'm holding the bid here at 475. At 475. It's against you right. I'm holding left at £475,000. At 475. At 475,000. At 475. At 475,000. At 475. At 475, holding the bid. Thank you, sir. You've been with me from the beginning. At 475,000. This magnificent and original Lancia Stratos. At 475,000. At 475. At 475, holding the bid. You're saying no. Are you sure? Are you sure? You're saying no at 475 here, sir. I'm holding your bid at 475 against your bid here at 475. At 475, holding your bid at 475. Any more? Any more? At 475. At 475. Any more bids at 475? Standing here now. At 475. At 475, we will begin to call at 475. I'm holding your bid, sir. Thank you. You've been with me from the beginning, sir. At 475,000. At 475,000. At 475. Well, at 475, you're out, sir. At 475,000. Any more? Any more bids at 475? Fair warning at 475. Thank you. Pass that one. 475.
So next up, another pre-war
Okay,
great,
number
and
116
for a UK sale, you really need some great British sports cars, and this is one of the great pre-war British cars. It's the MG K3 Magnet, huge great supercharger on it. It's got MG's fabulous 6-cylinder engine. These really were and are very, very quick cars. This has got incredible pre-war racing history. It was one of 3 cars prepared for George Easton. Amazing racing history at Brooklands, and also an entrant to the 1935 Mille Miglia. So a wonderful example of a great car. And I genuinely hope that this finds a really good new home today.
In the stable. And, well, what should we say? Lots of interest, as you can imagine. And I have 300,000 bid already. At 300,000, I'm bid. 300, 320, 350, 380 now. 380, all with me at 380 now. Any more bids at 380,000, at 380, at 380. Any more at 380,000, at 380. At 380,000. Any more bids? Any more bids at 380,000? Took 400 just ahead of you. At 400 just ahead of you in the room. 425 would be next. 425 would be next. 420 would be next. At 400. 420 would be next. At 400. 420,000. At 420,000. At 420, 440,000. 440,000. 440,000. 440,000. 460 would be next. 440,000. 440. 450 I've taken at 450 against you, sir. 450. 450,000, the car is on sale. Make no mistake. At £450,000 for this wonderful MG K3. They do not come up very often, ladies and gentlemen. At 450,000. William, you're out. Thank your bidder. At 450,000. We are going to sell the car at £450,000 here at Woodcote Park for this wonderful MG K3 at £450,000. The car is sold. 450,000. 6136.
Fantastic. Okay, lot number 117, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2005 Ford GT. One of just 101 European cars built for the 2005 model year. It was first registered in April 2006 and is titled as such. It's driven 11,104 miles at the time of cataloguing. 3-option car. Ford GT is very much in vogue at the moment, Sholto.
Well, thank you. And what should we say? Do we have 240, 260, 280, all with me? 300, thank you, Pranav. 300, any more now? 300,000, 320, 320, 350, 350. Cars on sale, cars on sale. 350, selling the car at 350, holding your bidder. Thank you, Duccio, at 350. Try 360, sir? Try 360. Trying to help you. Well, I'm selling at 350,000. Good to see you, gents. So thank you for the bids. Good to see you in Monaco. At 350,000. The car's on sale, make no mistake. At 350. Thank you, Dooch. At 350. I'll take 360 anywhere. I'll take 360 anywhere, but we're at 350. The bid's here. That we are selling the car at 350,000. Howard, are you out? At 350. I'm selling the car. Sold. 350,000. Your number? Your number, 6332. I thought we'd be used to this by now, Pranav. 632, 6332.
Okay, lot number 118 is the 1969 Aston Martin DB6 Vantage Volante. Ladies and gentlemen, one of just 29 examples built of the Vantage Volante and one of just 13 to receive the upgraded Vantage engine, bearing the V6 suffix. Matching numbers example, beautifully restored. Please note the lot has entered the UK on a temporary import bond and the lot If it remains in the UK, VAT and import duties will be applicable, and is accompanied by a heritage certificate, Sholto.
Well, over £1 million spent on this car, over £1 million spent on the car. What should we say? We have 250, 280, 300 with me at 300 now, at 300,000. Any more bids at 300,000? Looks great value at 300,000. Any more now? At 300, 320. Thank you at the back at 320. At 320. DB6 Volante at 320,000. Any more? At 320,000. At 320,000. Any more bids? At 320. 350. At 350 now. I've taken 350. I've taken 350. At 350. At 350. In the room. At 350. At 350. Mr. D at 350. At 350. 350 now. At 350,000. At 350,000. Any more? Roger, should we try one? Good. Yes, 380,000. Thank you, and thank you for coming. At 380,000. We always help me out, Roger, and I really appreciate it. At 380,000, we are selling the car. At £380,000. At 380,000. Well, it's incredible value. At 380,000, I'm selling to the aisle. The car's on sale. At 380,000. At 380,000. You're out. Roger, going to one of the great collections in the UK at 380,000. Roger, your car is yours. 380,000. Well done. And thank you, Emma. Emma, thank you for coming as well. Your number, please, Roger. Your paddle number in there somewhere? 6005. Well done.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, lot number 119, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2001 Ferrari 360 NGT, built to NGT specification by Michelotto, no less, in 2002. One of 3 examples developed and run by Team Velux and sponsored in period by Ferrari UK. 2 podium finishes in the 2002 British GT Championship, one of 17 examples of the 360 NGT built by Michelotto in period, equipped with the Hewland NLT sequential transmission, eligible for many, many fantastic racing events, ladies and gentlemen. Ferrari Corsi Cliente and Le Mans Classic. Now, it is lot number 119.
Thank you, and where shall we start? I've already got 200, 220, 240 with me at 240. What a weapon this car is at 240 now. 240, 260, at 260. Any more? 260,000, 260, 280 now. At 280, 2 of you here. At 280,000. At 280,000. Any more bids? At 280,000. At 280. Try 300. 300 now. At 300,000. At 300,000. At 300,000 for the Ferrari 360 NGT. At 300,000 I'm bid. At 300,000 I'm bid. Any more bids? Any more bids? Internet, are you coming in? But we're at 300. We're at 300. Try another. Try another. At 300,000 now. 320. At 320. At 320,000. I'll take 330 if it helps. But we're at 320. I'll take 330 anywhere, but we're at 320. Fair warning now. At 320. Fair warning. I'll take 330 anywhere, but we're at 320. Thank you. 320. Pass.
Lot number 120 is the 2021 McLaren 675 LT Coupe, numbered 371 from the limited production run of just 765 examples. It shows 663 miles only at the time of cataloguing and has £130,000 in factory options, Sholto.
Well, 130,000 in factory options, 663 miles from new. Doesn't really get much better. Comes from a great collector, great home. And what should we say? I've got 150, 180, 200 all with me at 200,000 now. 200,000, yes. 220, 250 now. 250, 280 at 280, yes, 300, 300, 320, 320. 320 with you, gentlemen. 320. My friends from Nikki Beach at 320,000. Any more? 340,000. 340. 340,000. At 340,000. Try another, sir. Try 350. Are you sure? Well, at 340, the bid's here. I'll take 350 anywhere if it helps. But we're at £340,000. At 340,000, I'll take 350, but we're selling the car at 340,000. Fair warning, at 340, the bid's here on the front row. Are you sure, guys? At 340, 360? 360. Are you sure? 370? No? Well, at 360 now, thank you, Roger. 360,000. Are we done? At 360, fair warning, I'm selling at 360,000. Roger, your car, 360.
Well, that was the newest car in the sale on offer today, and that sold pretty well. Now we've got a beautiful Ferrari 246 Dino GTS, absolutely stunning colour combination in grigio with dark red leather interior. Really, I think, for my money, the best colour combo for one of these cars. Great ownership history from new, and really, it's one of those Ferraris that everybody wants to own. So let's see how it does.
Folio books, manuals, jack and toolkit. It is lot number 121.
Well, it really does present beautifully, this Dino. And I have 200, 220, 250, 260 all with me at 260 now. At 260, any more? At 260, 280. I've taken the bid at 280,000. At 280,000. Any more bids at 280,000? 280. 280. Any more? Telephones coming in at 280,000. At 300. Just ahead at 300 now. At 300,000. 300,000. Telephones trying to come in at 300,000. Here in the room at £300,000. At 300,000. At 300,000. Any more bids? Any more bids at 300,000 for this magnificent Dino? At 300,000. Are we done? At 310. Thank you. 320. Straight back at you. 320. Straight back at you. 320. 330. Just ahead. 330. There's three of you on it. 330. There's three of you on it. At 330,000. At 330,000. At 330 in the room against the phone. At 330,000. At 330. 330,000. Take a good look. Incredible condition on this wonderful GTS. Would be lovely in this weather, wouldn't it? Wind in your hair at 340, thank you. 340 against you now, sir. Try another. Car's on sale. The car is on sale at 340,000. We are selling the car at 340,000. The car's on sale. Well, fair warning now. At 340 against you, sir. The bid's on the telephone at 340,000. Sold. 340, 6108.
Lot number 122 is the 1949 Alfa Romeo 60 2500 Super Sport Cabriolet, ladies and gentlemen. Believed to be one of just 63 examples built on the short chassis platform. The ultimate road-going car developed by the legendary Alfa Romeo 60 lineage. Wears its elegant coachwork bodied by Pininfarina. Delivered new to Paris. Fascinating subsequent ownership history. Thoroughly restored in 2009 and in beautiful condition. Highly eligible. Lot number 122.
Thank you, Will. Excuse me. Telephones coming in, as you'd expect. Nick, are you connected? Yes? Okay, thank you. And, well, what should we say? Do we have 100,000 anywhere? 100,000. This magnificent 6C 2500.
Yes, sir.
100. He's back. We've missed you, Justin Banks. 100,000. Any more bids? 120. 120. 140. At 140. 140. 160. 160 now. Thank you, JB. At 160. 170. 180. Against the room. 180 on the phone with Malcolm at 180,000. Car is selling, ladies and gentlemen. The car is on sale at 180,000. Any more bids? I'll take 190 anywhere if it helps. But at 180,000, this really is a magnificent example. It really is. At 180,000 with Malcolm's telephone. Fair warning now. At 180,000, Malcolm, your car, 6117. 180, 6117.
So next up, we've got a 1935 Fraser-Nash TT Rep. And Fraser-Nash is a peculiar British brand that perhaps doesn't get particularly great visibility or is particularly well known overseas. Fraser-Nash produced some incredible sports cars, had a great competition history pre-war, carried on doing that in the early post-war period as well. And these pre-war Nashes are well known for being chain drive. So if you think of a bicycle with a kind of a derailleur system, that's pretty much how one of these cars works. You change gear and the chain moves, you're sort of moving from one sprocket to another. But that also makes them incredibly light. It's a very light drivetrain. And with the Meadows engine, which can be made to produce a lot of power, these cars are very, very quick. And this particular car has competed at Goodwood. So a very British pre-war car.
At 140, at 140,000 for the TT Rep. At 140,000. Any more bids? At 140,000. Any more bids? At 140,000 for the TT Rep. Ladies and gentlemen, at 140 now. It's here at 140. At 140,000. At 140,000. At 140. I'm holding your bid, sir. So much fun in a TT Rep Fraser-Nash, chain driven at £140,000 only. At 140 only. At 140,000 only. Take 150 anywhere, but we're at 140. Any more bids? At 140,000 only, ladies and gentlemen. At 140,000. Take 150 anywhere. Take 150 anywhere. At 140. Fair warning now. At 140 only for the Fraser-Nash TT Rep. At 140. Are we done? Are we sure? At 150 now. At 150. At 150 on my left. At 150 now. At 150. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 150,000. Well, at 150,000. Fair warning now.
Sir.
160,000 online. At 160,000 online. The car is on sale at 160,000 online bid. The car is on sale at 160,000. I'll take 165 if it helps. But at 160,000, here for the Fraser-Nash TT Rep at 160,000. Sold at 160 online.
Okay, lot number 1.
When you think of high-performance Porsches, you don't always think of a Porsche 924, but this is a special one. This was built for IMSA racing in the US. It contested 70 races from 1981 to 1990. It's had a huge amount of money spent on it. It's absolutely on the button. It's been looked after by a leading UK race team. 400 horsepower from a Porsche 924. And I just think it's one of the coolest cars we've got here. I just think it looks absolutely terrific. It's maybe a little bit niche for some collectors, but I guess we'll find out shortly.
Thank you. Well, what should we say? Do we have 80,000 anywhere? Thank you. 80, straight in. You've been looking a long time, so 80,000. Any more bids? 80, 90, 100, at 100,000, at 100,000. Any more bids? At 100,000, at 100,000. Come along now. At 100,000, 110. At 110 now. At 110,000. Take another anywhere. At 110. At 110,000. 120. At 120. At 120. 130. At 130,000. For the 924 Carrera GTR. At 130,000. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 130,000. Well, at 130. At 130. Any more? I'll take 135 if it helps. We're at 130. Fair warning now at 130. Not quite enough there. Thank you.
Okay, lot number 125 is the 2006 Ferrari Super America, one of just 599 examples built. Very rare in right-hand drive, just 63 cars, ladies and gentlemen. Finished in the lovely combination of Nero Daytona with Nero interior, Fiorano handling pack and Daytona-style seats, all the options you'd want. Supplied new to the UK and used sparingly for its first owner for the last 50, for its first and consigning owner rather for the last 15 years. Odometer just 20,000 miles or little over there, and powered by its matching V12 engine, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic example, lot number 125.
Thank you, Will. And what should we say? 100,000 anywhere? 100,000. 100,000. Thank you. 100,000. Any more bids? 100,000 only. At 100,000. Can you believe it? At 120. Thank you. I've taken at 120. Where's the bid?
Front row.
Front row. 140. Thank you, sir. 140. 140 now. 160 now. 160 now. Any more? 160,000. Hello, Molly. Good to see you. At 160. At 160. 170. Thank you, sir. At 170,000. Front row. At 170,000. Selling the car. At 170. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
175. Standing. 180. The car's on sale. No mistake. 180. 180. 185. 185. Standing at the back. 190. 195. 200,000. Keep it in fives. 205. 210. 210. 215. We are 210 here. 215. 215. Try one more? Well, sir, thank you. We can have some drinks tokens for this gentleman. He's missed out on a couple, so we can look after him, please. Thank you for your bidding. We do appreciate it. 215. You sure? We'll get you some drinks over here, please, Kathy. 215,000. Fair warning now. 215. Last chance. 215,000.
So next up, we've got an Aston Martin DB4 GT continuation. Of course, the original DB4 GT is one of the most desirable post-war Aston Martins, and of course extremely rare. What Aston Martin did some years ago was create some factory-built continuation cars. They cost well in excess of £1 million if you had wanted to buy this car back in 2018 when it was created. But absolutely fabulous attention to detail, very hard to tell apart from the real thing, and of course it's got all of the factory provenance. So it's a very interesting car, and this is offered at significantly less than you would pay for a genuine DB4 GT. So it's a very interesting car, this one.
250. Any more bids? 250, 280, 300 now, 325 for the absentee bid, 325. Any more bids at 325, 350 now, 350 at 350, 380 at 380. The bid's here at 380. Roger, have a think about this one. They were 1.5 new. 400? 400. The car is on sale at 400. DB4 GT at 400,000. We are selling the car at 400,000. Make no mistake. There were 1.5 million new, Roger, at 400,000. 420? 420, thank you. At 420,000. At 420,000. The car is selling all the way at 420,000. At 420. Any more bids? At 420,000. At 420. Harvey's seated. I'm going to sell at 420,000. 1.5 million new, ladies and gentlemen, plus 20% new car tax at 420. Fair warning at 420,000. Roger, your car, 420. Your number again, sir? Emma? 6005. Well done.
Okay, lot number 127 is the 2011 Porsche 911 GT3 RS 4-litre, ladies and gentlemen. Number 254 of just 600 examples built. This was a German market car built in left-hand drive, of course, and first registered in Switzerland and then imported to the UK in 2017, matching numbers 4-litre Metzger engine. These are very, very sought after now, Sholto.
Yeah, multiple phones coming in, as you would expect. And, well, what do we say? Do we have 300,000 anywhere? 300,000, 300, thank you. 300, I'm bid. 300, 350, 350, 400. At 400 now, at 400, 450, 500, 500, 500, 500. Here in the room at 500,000, at 500,000. Here in the room at 500,000, at 500 against the telephones. Here at Woodcote Park, 510, 510, at 510. On the telephone, 520, you're back in, sir, back in the room at 520, 520, 530, 540, back in the room. Back in the room at 540. At 540, back in the room. 540,000. 540,000. 540,000. 540,000. 550,000. Thank you, Cyrus. At 550,000 against you here. At 550. 550. The car's on sale, make no mistake. At 550. 560? 560. 560. Why not? 565. We'll take the fives now, but we're at 565. We'll take the fives now. 565. There's 3 telephones against you. You're out. You're out at 565. Nick's out. Cyrus is still in. Cyrus against Duccio at 565. Any more? At 565. With Duccio's bidder. Thank you, Cyrus. At 565. Any more bids? At 565. I'm going to start calling the car. At 565. At 565 now. Going for the first time at 565. 567.5. 567.5. We will take it. We have to do the best for the seller. We are working for the seller. At 567.5. 570 would be next, Duccio. 575. There we go. That's more like it. 575. 575. At 575,000 now. You're out, Cyrus. Thank your bidder. At 575,000, the car is sold. 575. 6119. 575. 6119.
Okay, lot number
So
one.
if you
wonder
wonder what a pre-war supercar might be, then this is maybe it. So this is a Bentley, a 1932 Bentley, and it started life as a fairly sedate 4-litre saloon car. And later in life, it had an absolutely whopping great Bentley 8-litre engine put in it. And as if an 8-litre engine isn't enough, it's got an absolutely enormous supercharger on the front. It's a visceral thing when you hear this thing started. It really is an incredible car. And it's so fast. It would absolutely blow your mind to be taken for a ride in this on a public road. It's an incredible bit of kit. So I hope it finds a good home.
300 now. 300,000 all with me. At 300,000. Any more bids? At 300,000 for this sensational 8-litre supercharged at 300,000. Any more bids now? At 300, 320. At 320. At 320. 350. At 350. At 350 now. Any more? At 350,000. At 350,000. At 380,000. At 380,000 pounds. At 380,000. Roger, do you fancy a supercharged 8-litre? It's at 380. Try 400. Try 400. Are you sure? You're saying no on this one at 380,000. Any more bids? At 380,000. Supercharged 8-litre at 380,000. Any more bids? At 380,000. Are we done? At 380,000. I'll take another one anywhere, but we're at 380. Any more bids at 380,000? Fair warning now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take 400 anywhere, but we're at 380. Are we sure? Are we done at 380,000? Pass that one. Thank you.
Okay, lot number 129 is the 1992 Porsche 911 Carrera RS NGT. Famed M003 Club Sport package, ladies and gentlemen, with the matter roll cage. Recipient of a £25,000 engine rebuild, courtesy of GT1 Limited in Surrey. Company with its German Fasel brief, ONS Wagen Pass, all the bits you would want with a car like this, ladies and gentlemen. The legendary RS NGT.
Thank you. Thank you. And what should we say again? 100,000 anywhere? 100,000. 100,000. Thank you.
100.
100 just ahead of you, online bidder. 100. 120. 120 here in the room at 120.
150.
150 now. 150. 150. 150 now. I have 150. Any more bids at 150? 170 at 170,000 at 170. Any more at 170,000 at 170,000? Are we done? At 170,000 against the online bid. I have 170 here. At 170,000 against the online bid. At 170,000.
175.
175. At 175. At 175. What's that, Gord? 175, Gus. At 175. At 175. Any more bids? It's online. At 175. Online. At 175 online. At 175 online. Are you absolutely sure? At 175 online. 177.5. Thank you. We'll take the small bid. Same courtesy for the internet bidder. At 177.5. At 177.5. At 177.5. Online, your turn, wherever you may be. At 177.5. 180 would be next. At 177.5. Are we done? At 177.5. Try one more online. Online bidder, try one more. At 177.5. Fair warning now. Fair warning. Try one more online. We're at 177.5. Are we sure? Online bidder, last chance. I will bring it down. At 177.5. Online.
Yes.
180 online.
That was close.
They do it on purpose, I'm sure. At 180,000 against you now. At 180,000. Online bid now has it. At 180,000. You're saying no. The car's on sale. At 180,000. We're selling the car at 180,000 to the online bidder. Sold 180 online.
Okay, lot number 130 is the 1948 Bentley Mark VI 4.25 litre Sedanka Coupe, exhibited on the Bentley Motor Show stand at the 1948 British International Motor Show at Earls Court. One of only 4 examples built, ladies and gentlemen, in the Sedanka Coupe coachwork by Gurney Nutting. Fantastic example, with delivered new to Bentley enthusiasts in Cairo, no less, and appears in its Mark Specialist books. Without reserve, ladies and gentlemen, lot number 130.
Well, Gurney Nutting, ladies and gentlemen, Gurney Nutting coachwork. Do we have 20,000 anywhere? It's no reserve.
Yes.
20. Thank you, Rivers. 20,000. Any more? Any more? We've got 20,000. Maiden bid. Come along at 20,000. I'll take 25 next. I'll take 25 next. At 20,000. Maiden bid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 25. Thank you. 25. Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? 27.5? Okay, well, at 25. Thank you. Thank you at 25. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great value. A Sedanka for Gurney Nutting. V5 is being completed as we speak. UK registered at 25,000 only. I cannot believe it. Sedanka Gurney Nutting. At 25,000 only. I'll take 27.5 anywhere. I'll take 27.5 anywhere, but we're only at 25,000. It's no reserve. It has to sell. It has to sell. 27.5 anywhere. 27.5. Thank you, Roger. 27.5. Glenn, try 30. Well, can you believe it? At 27,005, I'm going to sell. It's no reserve. I have to sell. Last chance, everybody in the room at 27,005. Great value. Great for the collection, Roger, at 27,500. Sold, 27.5, 6005.
So,
Okay.
you
Lot
want an
number
Aston
131,
DB5,
ladies and gentlemen, is
but
the second
it may be a
DB5
standard car's a little bit
of the
short
ceiling.
on
It's
space.
1966
So,
Aston Martin DB5
if it is,
shooting brake.
what you
Of course,
need is
the
a
rarest
shooting
variant of
brake.
the
These
model,
are
ladies and gentlemen,
super,
and
super
most
rare.
exclusive Aston
One
Martin,
of 12
one
that
of
were
the most
produced
exclusive Aston Martins ever
by the
produced.
factory
There were 12
in right-hand
factory
drive. It's
examples
matching
built,
numbers.
and one of just 8
It's
in
got a
right-hand drive.
sunroof.
It's matching
You can
numbers
get
engine
your golf
and
clubs,
finished in silver
your
over grey mohair,
shotguns, your
wool
Labrador,
tweed interior. Offered for
a
over
big
20
family
years
picnic,
of
whatever
family
you want.
ownership
You can
and
get it
over
in the back of this car.
£105,000
Very,
in
very
bills from
rare
RS
and
Williams down the
really
road. It is
an
lot
incredible
number
car
131.
and really,
Well,
really hard to
very,
find.
very rare.
And this
That
one
is
has
all
been
as well.
restored
A magnificent
by
example
one of the
on
best
lawn that's
specialists in
sold
the UK.
by RM Sotheby's to one of the UK, one of Wales's great collectors. And what should we say? What should we say? Do we have 400,000 anywhere? 400,000, 400. Thank you, 400 I have. At 400, 450, at 450, at 450, 500 now, 500. Any more at 500 for the shooting brake at 500,000 and 50 and 50, 550. Any more bids at 550, 600,000 now. at 600,000. There you are, 650 now. 650. 650. Any more bids at 650? 700 at 700, thank you. At 700,000. At 700,000. Any more bids at 700,000? At 700,000 pounds. At 700,000. For the shooting break at 700,000. At 700,000. Are we done? At 700,000. 720,000. There's two of you on it, sorry. 720,000. Any more bids at 720,000? 750 would be next, but we're at 720. 750 would be next. At 720 we hold. At 720. Any more bids at 720,000 pounds for the shooting break? At 720 now.
Yes.
750. Thank you. At 750. Standing at the back against you here, against you here. At 750,000. At 7, you're saying no here by the bar. At 750. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the car's on sale. The car is on sale at 750,000. Fair warning now to you all. The car is selling. I'll take 775 if it helps you anywhere. But at 750,000 going for the first time. 750,000 going for the second time. And at 750,000 pounds going for the third and final time. 750. Neil, your car. 750,000. Thank you. 6200. 6200. Thank you. 750. 6200.
Now then, lot number 132 is the 1961 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Roadster, one of 250 examples built in 1961. Late production roadster equipped with disc brakes, retains its matching numbers, engine and coachwork, and currently fitted with desirable reproduction, ladies and gentlemen, Rudge wheels and upgraded power steering for superior touring abilities. Company buys hardtop, beautifully restored, including bare metal refinish in a very attractive light metallic blue paint colour you see it in. It is lot number 132.
Thank you, Will. Telephones coming in. Okay, thank you. And, well, 300 SL Roadster with hardtop. And what should we say? Do we have 600,000 anywhere? 600?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you, sir. 600, 650, 750. Are you sure? 750,000. Any more bids at 750,000? At 750,000, any more bids? At 750. At 750,000, any more bids? We're at 750. Any more bids? At 750 only. 775? 775. At 775,000 MJB at 775,000. With the bid, absentee at 775. With the 300 SL Roadster at 775,000 pounds. Any more bids at 775? I'm holding the bid with the absentee at 775,000. At 775. Looks good value, ladies and gentlemen. 775. Disc brakes, hard top at 775 pounds. The bid's live. The bid's live at 775,000. 775,000. You're going to miss it. You will miss it. At 775,000. Any more bids? At 775,000. At 800,000. At 800,000 now. At 800,000 pounds. Any further offers? At 800,000 pounds. At 800,000, I'll take 825 anywhere if it helps. Good value, ladies and gentlemen. Disc brake, 300 SL Roadster. You're out. We're at 800. Fair warning now, at 800,000, you will all miss the car. At 800,000, fair warning. Thank you. Pass that one, 800.
Okay, lot number 133 is the 1948 Fraser Nash high-speed Le Mans replica, shown at the 1948 Earls Court Motor Show, originally purchased by Czechoslovakian racing driver Francik Dobry, ladies and gentlemen, and participated in many period events, including the 1949 Grand Prix of Prague and many, many others, eligible for most prestigious events, offered with its seats, road trim, wrap-around windscreen. While the Rob is easily detachable, these spare parts are stored at Blakeney Motorsport for the successful bidder. It is lot number 133.
Thank you. Telephones coming in, and I can open the bidding at 150,000. Comes from a wonderful collection, looked after by Blakeney Motorsport for many years. 150 I have. 150. Any more? 150 I have. 150. 150. 180. 180. Any more now? 180,000. 200 I'm bid at 200,000. At 200,000. Any more? 200,000 I'm bid at 200,000. Any more? 200,000 at 200,000. Good value. Highly eligible. Monaco Historic. Le Mans Classic. 200,000. 220. I've taken 220. 230. 230. 240. 240. 240. 260. Thank you. 260. Any more bids? The car's on sale at 260,000. Unbelievably eligible. Blakeney Motorsport's been looking after this one, ladies and gentlemen. The car's on sale at 260,000. Eligible for pretty much everything at 260. We're selling the car. We are selling the car at 260,000. Fair warning at 260. Sold. 260. 6120.
Lot number 134 is the 1971 Ferrari Dino 246 GT, a very rare M series variant of the GT and one of 488 right-hand drive examples. Delivered new to England in February 71, ladies and gentlemen, in Argento with blue interior. Fantastic combination, and it retains its matching numbers, engine and gearbox, and is Ferrari Classic certified. It is lot number 134.
Thank you, thank you. Telephones, JP, where are you? I can't see you. No, thank you, he's over there. Got it, thank you. And, well, Dino time. Dino time. Do we have 160 anywhere for a Dino? Dino now, Ferrari Dino. It's 160. Yes, thank you. 160. 180. 180 now. 180. Any more? 200. You're back in, sir. 200 against you here. 200 I have. 200 I have. Any more bids at £200,000? At 200,000. At 200,000. Any further bids at 200,000? 220? Yes, why not? 220,000. At 220,000. Are we done? At £220,000. At 220. Any more bids? At 220. At 220. Any more bids at 220,000 for the Dino? At 220,000. I'll take another if it helps, but we're at 220,000. Ladies and gentlemen, at 220. At 220. Any more bids at 220,000? I'm holding your bid, sir. At 220. At 220. At 220. JP, are we bidding? At 220. We're at 220, thank you. At 220,000, holding here. Holding here. Are we bidding now? At 220. You're out at 220. Any more bids? At 220, I will call the car. At 220 for the Dino. 220, any more now? At 220,000, fair warning to you all. At 220, thank you, 220.
Okay,
Next
lot
up's
number
an interesting
135
car.
is
It's the
the
1959 BRM P25. Now, the BRM P25 was a really competitive Grand Prix car in the 1950s. This is not an original car. It was recreated, crucially using an original engine and a lot of original drawings and bucks, but it's not an original car. But the really fascinating thing about this is that you couldn't even begin to construct something like this from scratch for the estimate that's on this car. If you want something that's competitive, this car won at Goodwood a few years ago by over 20 seconds. It's a very competitive car, and as I say, you couldn't build it for the estimate.
At 150, I'm bid. Commissioned for Tom Wheatcroft. Up at Donington at 150, 180. Thank you now. At 180,000. At 180. Any more bids at 180? 200 I've taken at 200 now. At £200,000. At 200,000 for the BRM. At 200,000. Winner at the 2015 Goodwood Members Meeting, ladies and gentlemen. At 200,000 I'm bid. Any more bids at 200,000? Ladies and gentlemen, at 200,000. Any more bids, ladies and gentlemen, at 200,000 I have? Are we done? I'll take 220 anywhere for this magnificent BRM P25, but we're at 200. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take 220 if it helps anywhere, but we're at 200. Any more now? Any more? At 200 I'm bid. At 200 I'm bid. Thank you. 200,000.
Okay, lot number 1.
Okay, so next up is the Ferrari F40, very much the star of this sale. Jean Sage was a guy that had a competition, a racing history of his own. He later ran Ferrari's IMSA project with the F40s in America, so he was very, very close to Michelotto. He bought a standard non-cat, non-adjust car, and he had Michelotto take weight out of it. It's got different turbos, it produces more power, it's got different wheels, but it remains very subtle. It doesn't really look very different from a standard road car, but it's very, very quick indeed. This is kind of peak road-going Ferrari F40. So I hope this one does well.
Thank you. 1.6 I'm bid. 1.6 I'm bid. Any more? 1.6, 1.8. Here at 1.8. At 1.8 million. At 1.8 million. Would you like 2, sir? Would you like 2? 2 million. At £2 million. At 2 million. Any more? At 2 million. Holding the bid here at £2 million. At £2 million. 2.2. Seated at 2.2 million. Seated bidder. Come a long way, sir. We appreciate it. At 2.2 million.
2.4.
2.4 online. 2.4 online. Sir, 2.6. Seated bidder at 2.6 million. You have come a long way, sir. It doesn't really get much better than this in F40 collecting terms at 2.6 million. At 2.6 million, holding your bid at 2.6 million against the online bidder, holding the bid in the room at 2.6 million pounds. At 2.6 million, holding your bid, sir, at 2.6 million against the internet bidder at 2.6 million now. At 2.6.
2.7.
2.7 online bid against you seated now at 2.7 million. The car is on sale. The car is on sale. RM Sotheby's, where Ferraris come to be sold, at 2.7 million. Any more bids? You're saying no, sir. Thank you anyway at 2.7 million. 2.75 million. Telephones now in action at 2.75 million. at 2.75 million. You're out here. Internet still hovering. It's 2.75 with Mr. Donaldson. At 2.75 million. Make no mistake, the car is on sale at 2.75 million.
2.8.
2.8 million. At 2.8 million here at the Royal Automobile Club, Woodcote Park, Concours. At 2.8 million pounds. 2.8 million pounds. We take our time. At 2.8 million, it's the internet bidder versus the telephone. 2.8 million pounds. 2.8 million pounds here. I will give you time, Mr. Donaldson. 2.85 million now, ladies and gentlemen. At 2.85 million. At 2.85 million. Internet bidder against you. Looking at the cameras here, I can see you. I don't know where you are, but I can see the camera. At 2.85 million on the telephone with Mr. Donaldson. At 2.85 million. Online bidder, would you like 2.9? But we are at 2.9 million pounds. At 2.9 million. At 2.9 million. At 2.9 million pounds. At 2.9 with the internet bidder. Thank you for your bid, sir. We're at 2.9 million. I know what you're going to say. Is it a 25? 2.925. Same courtesy for the online bidder, please, Mr. Ducklow. 2.925. At 2.925. Same courtesy for the internet bidder. Next would be 2.9 and 50. But we're at 2.9 and 25,000. Fair warning. Internet bidder, you have been with me right from the beginning. Try one more. We won't find you another like this. We really won't. At 2.925, I'll take another 25 if it helps you. But we are at 2.925 with Mark's bidder.
2.95.
2.95 million. At 2.95 million. Here with RM Sotheby's at 2.95. At 2.95 million. I'll take another 25, but we're at 2.95 million. At 2.95 million. The car is on sale. £3 million! Let's see if it worked, Mark. Let's see if it scared away the internet bidder. At £3 million now. At 3 million. Holding the bid here on the telephones at £3 million. Last chance, online bidder. Think long and hard. Think long and hard. Once it's gone, it's gone. At 3 million, online bidder, going for the first time here at Woodcote Park. Going for the second time.
3,050,000.
3,050,000! At 3,050,000. At 3,050,000. At 3,050,000 now. At 3,050,000, thank you. At 3,050,000 for the Jean Sage Ferrari F40. At 3,050,000. at 3,050,000. Giving you time, Mark. Giving you some time at 3,050,000. At 3,050,000. Connected on the telephones at 3,050,000. 3.1 million. 3.1 million. At 3.1 million. Any more bids? 3.1 million. Online bidder, your turn. Your turn. At 3.1 million now. Holding your bid, Mark, at 3.1 million. Online, what would you like us to do? But we need a decision, or you will miss the car. At 3.1 million now. With you, Mark. I will have to call it online bidder at 3.1 million. Going now, gavels up. Here with RM Sotheby's final chance online bidder, last chance to you at 3.1 million.
3.15.
And 50. They do it on purpose. At 3.1 and 50. At 3.1 and 50. I have to go through the whole rigmarole. 3.2, that's more like it. Quick bids, thank you. Speed it up, thank you. 3.2. 3.2. Online bidder is trying to show you. 3.2, try another 50, sir. Try another 50. But we're at 3.2 million. We are going to speed it up now. At 3.2 million. Online bidder. Fair warning this time. At 3.2 million. Here and selling at RM Sotheby's Woodcote Park auction at 3.2 million. The car is sold at 3.2 million. 6121. Well done, the team. Thank the online bidder. Thank you, sir.
Okay, lot number 137 has been withdrawn. Look, we move on to 138. That's the 1950 Bentley 4.5 litre Special Tourer, built as a racing special by Sid Lawrence in 1950 and competed in Goodwood and Silverstone and other period events. Traceable history from the 1950s to the present day. And based on the 1924 Bentley 3 litre chassis 708, with some of its identifying features still visible. Restored and rebodied by Craig Collins from 2016 to 2018 and powered by a 4.5 litre Bentley inline 4-cylinder engine. It is, ladies and gentlemen, lot number 138.
Thank you, and well, interest all with me. I have 80, 100, 120, 120, any more? 120,000, bidding with me at 120,000. Any more? 140, 160 with my absentee, 160 with my absentee. The car is on sale. 180, Duncan, good to see you, at 180. Always a pleasure, at 180,000. My book is clear, the car is on sale at 180,000. What's that? 190, 190, 190. 200,000, thank you, 200,000. At £200,000. 210, 210. 210. Duncan, can I help you? 215? Can I help you? 215? 215. 215,000. 215,000. 220. I'll keep it in fives. You sure? Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for all your support. Always love seeing you at the event. 220,000. Thank you, Duncan. At 220,000. Fair warning. Should we try 5? You will miss it. Don't lose it for 5. You sure? Thank you. At 220, the car is sold at 220.
So, great result with the F40. A lot to go.
Okay,
The next car is really
139,
interesting.
1976,
Alfa Romeo ATL Auto Tecnica del Lario. They were a very low volume coach builder near Lake Como in Italy. And the incredible thing about this is that it's a car that looks 20 years older than it actually is. This is using Alfa, a 2-litre 105 series engine that you would have found in a Spider or a GTV coupe. Now this car is owned by TV chef James Martin, and he has lavished an absolute fortune on the restoration of this car. It's absolutely stunning. James is quite a tall guy. He had the double bubble roof put in to give a little bit more headroom. But it's a really terrific car, and you know, it's one of those cars where the value is perhaps significantly less than the look of the car. It really is a terrific looking thing.
140, 160, all with me at 160,000. Thank you, Simon. At 160, 160, 180, 180 now at 180,000. At 180,000. Any more bids at 180,000 for this magnificent Alfa Romeo at 180,000. Any more bids at 180 now, at 180,000 only, ladies and gentlemen. 190, Simon. 190. 190 with Gus. 190 with Gus. 190 with Gus. And 200, Simon. 200. 200. 200,000. At 200,000. What shall we do? 205 now, Simon. At 205. 205. Both telephones are active at 205,000. Magnificent condition, it really is, at 205,000. 205 at 205. At 205, show, yes, yes. What? 215. 215,000. 215,000, yes, at 215,000. 220, now it's a yes, at 220. The car's on sale. The car is on sale at £220,000. We are selling the car. You bidding? 225? 225. Thank you, AG. 225. 225. New bidder. 230. 230,000. 235,000. At 235,000. 240,000. At 240,000 now. 250. Well done, Mr. Drabble. At 250,000. At 250. Selling all the way, make no mistake. It's with Andy at 250. 255. 255. 260,000. 260,000. Andy's bidder at 260,000. 260,000. At 260. 270,000. At 270,000. Yeah. 275,000. 275,000. Gus is seated. Thank you, Gus. Thank your bidder at 275,000. We are selling the car. Thank you, James. I hope you're watching. Thank you, James Martin, for working with us at 275,000. The car is sold at 275. Your number, Andy? I can't read it. 6171. Thank you, Louis. Good to see you. 6171.
Lot number 140 is the 1962 Aston Martin DB4 Series 4, delivered new to former Aston Martin Owners Club President, the Honourable John Dorney, and finished in sand and black over red Connolly leather, ladies and gentlemen. Factory fitted with a special series engine, now powered by an enlarged 4.7-litre straight six and converted to left-hand drive. History file includes copy of the factory build sheet and period buff logbook, one of just 185 examples produced for the penultimate series of the DB4. It is lot number 140.
Thank you. Well, we've had some sensational Aston Martins today. We really have. The DB5, the DB5 shooting brake, the DB4 GT continuation, and now the DB4 Series 4. Telephones coming in. Sorry, 100. Thank you, Mark. 100 I'm bid. 100,000 I'm bid on the telephone for the DB4. Look at great value at that. 100, 120, 120, 120. 120 I'm bid. In the room, 120. Any more?
140.
140, thank
130.
you. From Justin. I've got 140 from Justin. 140 from Justin. 160. 160. Are you sure? You're positive. At 100, hello Mark, good to see you as well. 160,000. Any more bids at 160,000? 160, what are we saying, Nick? 180, new bidder. 180. 180. Any more? 180,000 at 180,000. You're seated at 180,000. Any more bids at 180,000 only? Any more? 180? Try 200 anywhere. 200 now, sir. Thank you. At 200. Against the phones at 200 I'm bid. At 200. Are we done? Are we done? At 200,000 I'm bid. At 200,000. At 200,000. DB4 left-hand drive. At 220,000. 220,000. 240,000. At 240. There's two of you on it here. 240. 240. Any more bids? Beautifully restored example by R.S. Williams. We're at 240. I'll take 250 if it helps. I'll take 250 anywhere if it helps, but we're at 240. Fair warning, I'll take 250 anywhere, but we're at 240. Are we done? Are we sure? At 240. Thank you, 240.
Okay, lot number 141 is the 1955 Bentley R-Type Continental Fastback Sports Saloon, ladies and gentlemen. Offered from single enthusiast ownership since 2002. Very late production E-Series R-Type Continental and sought after OPWAS modifications performed in 1962. Very well-known history, including ownership by noted enthusiast Peter Sachs. Splendid condition and presented throughout very nicely indeed. Is lot number 141.
Thank you, and what should we say? Magnificent R-Type E-Series, very rare, and I think only 5 or 6 were built. And what should we say? 200 I'm bid. At 200,000 I'm bid. At 200,000. 200, thank you. 250 now. At 250. 275? 275, why not? At 275. Any more? At 275,000. 300,000. At 300,000. Keep it in 25s for you now. At 300,000. Any more? 300? 325. At 325,000. At 325. Any more bids? E-Series R-Type Continental. Current ownership since 2002 at 350,000. At 350,000. Well, at 350. Any more bids? Any more bids? At 350 for the R-Type. I will call at 350,000 for the E-Series R-Type Continental. At 350,000. Fair warning now. At 350. Are we done? At 350,000. Ladies and gentlemen, at 350. Thank you. 350,000.
Okay, lot number 142 is the 1931 Bentley 4-litre sports tourer. Thought to be the sole remaining 4-litre sports tourer still in its original configuration. Retains its matching numbers engine and designed by Ricardo, ladies and gentlemen. Wears its original sports tourer body by Van der Pla, very importantly, and pictured in 1931 sales leaflet to promote the model. Retains many interesting original features and, of course, is featured in Dr. Claire Hayes' important works book. It is lot number 142.
Thank you, Will. This beautifully original Van der Pla. And interest coming in. Excuse me. I have 180,000. 180 now. 180. 200. 200. Straight in. 220. At 220. Original bodied Van der Pla 4-litre. 220 now. Any more bids at 220? 240. 240. Any more? 240,000. Try another, sir. Try another. Yes? Yes? 260. At 260 now. Any more bids at 260? At 260 now. Any more bids? At 260,000. At 260,000. Any more? At 260,000, I'm bid. At 260. At 260. Dooch at 260 now. Any more bids at 260,000? Any more bids at 260,000? Looks good value, ladies and gentlemen. 260,000. At 260,000. What are we doing online? At 260,000. Any more bids? Any more bids? Online, are you coming in at 260? Fair warning now. Fair warning for the 4-litre at 260,000. Last chance now at 260. Are we done? Are we sure? At 260,000. Thank you. 260.
So, next up, we have nothing less than a Williams Formula One car, an FW20 from the 98 season, driven in 3 rounds by Villeneuve, also driven by Frentzen, Montoya and Zanardi. It's got its original engine, it's got its original Mechachrome engine, albeit out of life. The engine's going to need a rebuild. But this is a low estimate for a contemporary Formula One car. It's an amazing opportunity for somebody to build themselves an up-and-running, track-ready F1 car. So a really, really rare opportunity. So, as I say, not expensive. Let's see what happens.
140, 160 now. 160 all with me. At 160 with me. Any more bids at 160,000? At 160,000, all with me at 160,000 pounds. At 180,000, 200 back with me at 200,000. Cars on sale at 200,000. To the absentee bidder at 200,000. We're selling the car. We are selling the car at 200,000. We are on at 200,000. I've got no phones connected in my book, guys.
220.
220 online. 220 online. My book is clear. My absentee is clear at 220 online bid. We are selling the car. Make no mistake. At 220,000. Well, I'll take 230 if it helps you, Gus. Thank you, Will. 230. At 220 I have. Internet bid at 220. 225. We have to do the best for the vendor. Great friend of the company at 225,000. Are we done? Against the internet, we're at 225. We're at 225. Are we done? We're with Gus at 225. Internet, this is your last chance. At 225,000, selling to Gus at 225,000. Sold. 225, 6140.
Okay, lot number 144 is the 2015 Porsche 911 GT3 RS, single ownership from new and just displayed 930 miles at the time of cataloguing. Lava orange paintwork, fantastic example. Of course, the naturally aspirated 4-litre engine is an absolute masterpiece. Fantastic example, and service performed in June 2026, no less. It is lot number 144.
Thank you, Will. Well, this really is great colours showing here outside by the bar. And we have lots of interest. I have 80, 90, 90 with me, 90 with me, 100 with me. Any more? 120. Thank you, David. 120. They're selling the car.
Yes.
140 I've taken here. 140 ahead of the internet. 140. Any more bids? 140 with the gents here at 140. David, you out at 140. The bid's over here with you, gentlemen. At 140. I'll take 150. 150, Roger. Thank you. 150 I'm bid. 150 I'm bid. Try another, guys. One more. One for the road. At 150 I'm bid here. Try 155. Try 155. You're saying no. At 150 here. Any more bids? 155. 160. You sure? Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. At 160,000, bidding here. Any more bids? I'll take 5 of it anywhere it helps. I'm selling the car at 160,000 to you, Roger, at 160,000. Fair warning to you all at 160. Sold, 160, 6005.
Okay, lot number 145 has been withdrawn, so we move on to 146. That's a 1924 Bentley 3-litre speed model tourist trophy 2-seater. Please note, the lot's entered the UK on a temporary import bond. If the lot remains in the UK, VAT and import duties must be paid. Tourist trophy style polished 2-seater taper style body, built in the style of Wolf Bonato's 3-litre no less, and retained by its consigning owner since 2003, driven extensively around Europe on rallies and tours, and accompanied by a history file that includes expired fever papers, copies of the registry entries and maintenance invoices.
Thank you, Will. Thank you very much. And, well, what do we say? Do we have 50,000 anywhere? 50,000, 50,000. Thank you. 50 I'm bid. 50 I'm bid. Any more bids now for this little 3-litre? 50,000. Any more? 60,000. 60,000. 60,000 now. Any more bids? 60,000. Come along now. Great value. 3-litre motoring at 60,000 only. 70,000. 80,000. 90,000. At 90,000 here. At 90,000 with you, sir. Cars on sale. Bidding here at £90,000. Fair warning. I will take 95 anywhere if it helps, but I'm at 90,000 here. Are we done? At 90,000 selling the car. At 90,000, are we done? Your car, sir. Well done. 90,000, 6003.
Now then, lot number 147, our penultimate lot of this evening is the 1952 Bentley R-Type Saloon Rally Monte Carlo. It was prepared by Bentley as a factory trials car, ladies and gentlemen, and raced by the honorary post-war Bentley boy Mike Cooper at the 1953 Rally Monte Carlo, no less, and won the Concours de Comfort in the Coupe d'Azur in 1953. Fantastic, fantastic period racing history. Finished in its period correct Moss Scream, matching numbers engine, without reserve. What more could you want, Sholto?
Well, period entry to the Monte in a Bentley. What a great story. It's no reserve. Do we have 8,000 anywhere? 8,000.
Yes.
Justin, 10,000.
Yes.
I've got 10 here. Any more bids? 12 I've taken here. 12 ahead of the online bid. Yes. 15,000 with you, Glyn, at 15,000. Any more bids? 18 online. The Monte Rally Bentley R-Type. 18 online. Any more bids? 20 with Duccio. 20 with Duccio. Where's the bid? I've taken 20 with Duccio. Is that a bid? Yeah. 22,000. Thank you, sir. 22,000. Bring it. Shall we take it back to the Monte Carlo Rally? 25? 24,000. Would you like 26? 26,000. 26,000. Highly eligible at 26,000. Any more, ladies and gentlemen? At 26,000. At 26,000. Are we done? I'm holding 28,000. Hello, Paul. Good to see you. At 28,000. I've got 28. Will you use it on the Monty? Yes, he will. He's a Benjerfield. Of course he will. At 28,000. Try 30, sir. 30,000. 32. 31,000. Different rules for the Benjis. At 31,000. Any more bids? Try another, sir. You're out. Thank you. Well, at 31,000, selling the car. The Rally Monte Carlo Bentley R-Type at 31,000. Fair warning. 32. It would have to be 32. Say we took 31 here. I'm not halving again. It's 31. Yes or no? Gavel's going to fall at 31. 31. Thank you.
So we're on to the final lot. Thank you for staying with us. It's very much appreciated. And what a lot the final lot is. Sometimes cars are kind of described as being, you know, unique, and we use the phrase "find another." Well, you won't find another of these. This is one of only two Strassen versions of the iconic 3.8 RSR, a competition machine, and they created two. Porsche Motorsport created two for the road. This is one, and this car has never been driven. It's got 10 kilometers that were put on by Porsche, but prior to delivery, it's still covered in its Cosmoline protective film over the paintwork. It's still on its original tyres. It's simply untouched. It has come to market a couple of times since 2015, but it's a car that you just can't replicate. You will not find another one of these. Personally, I'd like to see it cleaned and for somebody to drive it. Don't know if that will happen, but it's a really fascinating car. So let's hope this one does well.
We are open for London Motor Week at the Peninsula. Some big announcements to come. Continuation of our great partnership with the Royal Automobile Club during London to Brighton week, London Motor Week. We'd like to thank the club and all of the team for all their efforts to put on this wonderful concours. We are saving one of the best till last. Look at the phones are all connected, as you can imagine. It doesn't really get much better than this. And I can open the bidding. I can open the bidding with my absentee of £1.5 million. At £1.5 million with the opening bid at 1.5 million. Any more? 1.6 million. 1.6. The book is clear. 1.6 now. At 1.6 million. 1.7 million. Thank you. At 1.7 million. Any more bids? At 1.7 million. 1.8 million with Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Against you here. 1.8 million. With you, Kathy, at 1.8 million, holding the bid, at 1.8 million pounds, at 1.8 million pounds. Any more bids? At 1.8 million. Ladies bid, thank you, Kathy, at 1.8 million pounds. Phones connected at 1.8 million pounds. Any more bids? At 1.8 million pounds, live here on the telephone. At 1.8 million. At 1.8 million. At 1.8 million. 1.8 million. I'm holding with Kathy. 1.8 million now. At 1.8 million. Ladies and gentlemen, the bid's here. It's live. At 1.8 million. Thank you, Kathy. Holding your bidder. I'm holding your bidder. 1.8 million now. 1.8 million. I see, at 1.8 million. And 1.825. Against you now, Kathy, at 1.825. At 1.825. Try another. Try another. At 1.825. At 1.825. At 1.825. We got it, we're just connecting. At 1.825. Actually, Matt, sorry, Matt, actually. Sorry, we've got a confusion on the phone. Actually, Kathy, we're back with you at 1.8, okay? Thank you, Matt. We've got confused. Thank you, Matt. We're back with Kathy at 1.8. We're back with Kathy at 1.8. At 1.8, it's with you, Kathy. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matthew. Understood. At 1.8 with Kathy. At 1.8 with Kathy. At 1.8 with Kathy. Yep. At 1.8, Kathy, you're in the lead. Well, we're going to sell. We are going to sell with Kathy's bidder at 1.8 telephones. What are we doing? Kathy's in the lead. Kathy's in the lead. At 1.8 million with Kathy now. At 1.8 million. Matt, apologies. At 1.8 million. Guys, this is your last opportunity. At 1.8 million with you. I'm going to sell, Kathy. It's your car. 1.85 with Cyrus. What was yours, Mark? 1.825 with Cyrus. Cyrus, 1.825 with Cyrus. Correct it on the screen, please. 1.825 with Cyrus. The car's still on sale. New bidder. New bidder. 1.825 with Cyrus's bidder. It's all on the phones. At 1.825, Cyrus's bidder against Kathy, against Mark. This time at 1.825. 1.85. At 1.85 million. At 1.85 million. It's all on the telephones, ladies and gentlemen. At 1.85 million, the car.
Sir.
1.875. 1.875. At 1.875. At 1.875. At 1.875 here at Woodcote Park.
Sir.
1.9 million. At 1.9 million. At 1.9 million. Selling all the way at 1.9 million now. Are we done at 1.9 and 25? Now they're all coming to life now, aren't they, ladies and gentlemen? At 1.9 and 25. At 1.9 and 25. At 1.925. 1.95. At 1.95 million. At 1.95 million. At 1.95. Mark, does your client have a spray washer? At 1.975. At 1.975 with Cyrus. £2 million. At £2 million. At £2 million. Any more bids? At 2 million. With Mr. Donaldson at £2 million. Make no mistake, we will not find you another. We will not find you another. At £2 million. At £2 million. At £2 million. At 2 million. Any more bids now? At £2 million. I don't mind the small ones, but they do. And 25? 2,025,000. At 2,025,000. At 2,025,000. 2,050,000. 2,050,000. £2,050,000. £2,050,000. Cyrus, like, you know the rules. 2,075,000. If they're going to be small, they have to be quick. At 2,075,000, back in with Cyrus. 2,075,000. 2,075,000. Sorry, 2.1 million. Thank you. 2.1 million. 2.1 million. 2.1 million. At 2.1 million. At 2.1 million now. At 2.1. 2.1 and 25. 2.125. 2.1 and 25. 2.1 and 25. 2.1 and 25 now at 2.1 and 25. Any more bids? Cyrus in the lead against Mr. Donaldson. 2.15 at 2.15 million. At 2.15 million. At 2.15, we've got the marquee all evening, gentlemen, at 2.15 million. Try another 25. We're at 2.1 and 75. 2.1 and 75. 2.1 and 75. 2.2 million. 2.2 million. 2.2 million pounds. At 2.2 million. At 2.2 million. This time, I'm going to start calling it. I will start calling the car. I know, I'm trying. What do you want me to do? At 2.2 million going for the first time. At 2.2 million and 25. 2.2 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 and 50. 2.2 and 50. 2.2 and 50. Well, we saved the longest lot to last, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for staying to support at 2.25. 2,250,000. At £2,250,000. This time, come along, Cyrus. We're taking too long for these bids now. They're only 25 increments at 2,250,000, 2,275,000, 2,275,000, 2,275,000, 2.3 million with Mr. Donaldson, 2.3 million. We've got to be quicker now. We're losing the attention at 2.3 million. 2.3 million. 2.3 and 25. That's it. Speed up the bids now. Thank you. 2.3 and 25. 2.3 and 25. 2.3 and 25. 2.3 and 50. 2.35 million for the Porsche. Strassen version, 2.35 million now, 2.3 and 75. That's more like it, gents, 2.3 and 75. 2.3 and 75. 2.3 and 75 now. 2.4 million. 2.4 million. 2.4. At 2.4 million, here at Woodcote Park, at the Royal Automobile Club Concours, at 2.4 million, 2.4 and 25, at 2.4 and 25, 2.4 and 25 now, yes, bid, 2.5. Trying to scare you away there, Cyrus, at £2.5 million here at Woodcote Park at £2.5 million. He's going to give me another 25. I can feel it. I can feel it. At 2.5 million and 25. There we go. I've been doing this for a few years. At 2.5 and 25. At 2.5 and 25. Mark, that's the scaring away tactic didn't work. At 2.5 and 25. 2.55. They both want it, don't they? At 2.55 million. They both want it. At 2.55 million. Are we done? At 2.55 million. Come along now. At 2.55 million. At 2.55 million, 2.5 and 75. 2.5 and 75. Doing my best. Always have to do the best for the seller. 2.6. Thank you, Mark. 2.6 million. 2.6 million. 2.6 million. This is what we call the hard way. 2.6 million. Cyrus, I'm going to call it now. 2.6 million. Fair warning. At 2.6. At 2.6. It's like with Stefan and Gus in Europe, this. At 2.6 million. 2.65? Way! Cyrus, 2.65. 2.65. Well done, Cyrus. At 2.7. There we go. 2.7 million. Let's go in 50s. Let's keep it in 50s. No more 25s. Thank you, Harvey. At 2.7 million. At 2.7 million. at 2.7 million. 2.75! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get this on online auctions, do you? The drama of a live auction, you can't ever beat it. At 2.75 million. 2.8 million. 2.8 million. At 2.8 million. Oh, he's back on the 2.5s. He's back on the 2.5. 2.8 and 25. 2.8 and 25. I've seen it all. 2.9 million. 2.9 million. How long has this been going for, Will?
Probably 20 minutes.
20 minutes. 2.9 million pounds. At 2.9 million pounds. 2.9 million. 2.9 million. At 2.9. 2.95 million. Oh, 2.5. 2.9 and 25. Thank you, Cyrus. At 2.9 and 25. We're going to be having a word about this later, Cyrus. At 2.9 and 25. At 2.9 and 25. $2.95. At 2.95. At 2.95 million. I think they're doing currency conversions, so you'd have to give them a chance. They are doing currency conversions. So they are working it out at 2.95 million. Currency conversions happening live here at 2.95 million. Cyrus, come along now. Come along now at 2.9 and 75. 2.9 and 75. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what comes next. At 2.93 million pounds. Here at the Royal Automobile Club, Woodcote Park, Concours, at £3 million. I'm only going to take 50s now, Cyrus. I'm only going to take 50s. I'm not going to take any more 25s at 3 million. I'm only taking 50s at £3 million and 50. 3 million and 50. 3 million and 50. 3 million and 50 now. 3 million and 50. We will not find another at 3 million and 50. Are we done? 3.1 million. With no 25s, gents. Make it clear to your bidders. 3.1 and 50 would be next. But we are at 3.1 million. At 3.1 million. 3.1 million. 3.1 million. Try another 50. I'm not going to take a 25. At 3, you're out, Cyrus. Thank your bidder. At 3.1 million here at RM Sotheby's, the car is sold.
Well, what a way to end the auction. I haven't seen a lot take that long to sell in a long time, but boy, it was worth it. And of course, if you're new to watching auctions, do bear in mind that these hammer prices, the hammer price on the RSR is subject to 12.5% buyer's premium. So that is what the buyer will actually pay. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been a little longer than we anticipated, but thank you for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, we've got Monterey coming up in a few weeks' time in August. It's our most important sale of the year, and you can join that live as well with our North American team. So make sure you do, because that is something not to miss. Thank you so much, and goodbye from Woodcote Park in Surrey. See you soon.